stylish hat on here. And I want to encourage all of our members to participate in Read Across America Day. Our PDL committee is going to give us an update on what we're doing for Read Across America on March the 2nd. First, I'd like to add some amendments to the agenda. Do you have an amendment to the agenda, Rain? No? Is he standing over there like you're going to do something? Okay. Okay. I have a microphone. Yes.
Just that I move to amend the agenda to move up the petitions and concerns to after or before the committee report. Because we've been, just because of the longevity of the last couple of meetings.
Do you have a second? Okay. I'm just going to say this. We have candidates that have to present tonight. So I'm going to say that we would need to amend that because it can't be an hour member petitions and comments.
With respect to the time that's already listed, I wanted to, continue to include the 20 minutes that's already in the agenda.
Okay. There's a motion to amend the agenda to move member petitions and comments to the beginning of the agenda. Now, this would require a 2/3 lift to move something. Isn't that right? Because our standing rules have an order of our agenda. Yes. Robert McNair. Robert McNair, Board of Directors.
If I'm not mistaken, the young man said he wanted it done just before the committee report?
Yes.
Yes, right before the committee report.
Okay. So the candidate speech will be before the membership and comments, correct? The membership comments, correct?
The candidate speeches would be after petitions and comments. Because the candidates were going to speak during the candidates' speeches, during the NECC report.
So
Ms. McNair?
Yes. Is it possible to ask a friendly amendment to that motion that say that the candidates appear, do their speeches during appearances? Because we want to make sure that the members hear the candidate speeches.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're making a motion to suspend the rules.
Yes.
Okay, I need the chair of the NECC to come in here.
Yes.
Okay. There has been a motion to amend the rep council agenda to move member petitions and comments before committee reports and to move the candidate speeches to appearances.
So, each candidate is allowed 3 minutes. So that's 3 times however many are on that paper.
Yes.
So I think that,
So being the mover, the increase of time can also be a part of the amendment. That's fine. The increase of time, I think, is the issue that is being brought up by the NECC chair.
Right, because under appearance, they would get 5 minutes.
So with the increase, with the understanding that the increase would come.
No, they would get 3 minutes, not 5 minutes. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that each candidate needs, you said 3 minutes for each
so
candidate.
they get to give a speech for 3 minutes.
So that would mean they need an increase in time. That's with,
So,
Okay,
I have no problem moving them.
okay. All right. So here's what is being proposed, if I'm gonna
You're
put
right,
it out there.
decrease is what I should have been saying.
So, the candidates
I didn't see it.
will speak under appearances,
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay, and then we would have the treasurer's report and then the committee reports. Is that correct?
No, the concerns and petitions.
So concerns and petitions would come before committee reports?
Yes, Madam President.
Okay. So is everybody clear about what the change would be? I mean, I have it up here, but I want to just make sure everybody understands. The motion, the amendment to the agenda would be to move member concerns and comments, but limited to 20 minutes after the treasurer's report. And candidates would speak under appearances.
For 3 minutes
Okay.
each, 3 minutes each.
Yes, I have that. Okay, Mark?
Mark Nida, Northwestern High School. I guess I rise to that position. I don't see what the point is. And some schools get out later, and I'm scared they would not be able to participate.
Okay. Seeing no one else at the microphone, I put the question before you to amend the agenda to, yes, ma'am.
I also would like to remind everyone that the candidate speeches will be available online.
Okay. So, the question before you is to change the agenda with the movement of concerns and comments to, up on the agenda after the treasurer's report. And to have the candidates speak under appearances, so they wouldn't be in the committee reports. Okay? I have to speak on this because we have a tremendous amount of government relations work that we need to take care of tonight. Because we have a major event coming, our lobby night and a week of action on March 13th through the 17th. That I need to make sure that we get that information out to everyone tonight and that our GR committee has an opportunity to speak and to present. If I put them after, I'm just giving you time-wise, if I put them after appearances and then after the speeches, we will not get to our GR report until about 6 o'clock, 6:15, just time frame-wise. And we have significant pieces of legislation that we need to address concerning the restructuring of the school board, immigration, and the budget, and testing. So I'd be more than happy, I would be comfortable with moving GR before concerns and comments, because that information is critical. So I'm sharing that with you, and I just need to know that people understand how important it is for you to hang out through the meeting tonight. If we can move through the meeting, we can get done faster, okay? Greg?
My feeling is that the person who made the motion wants the membership to have a chance to hear and see their leaders that they're going to be voting on, and that the business relative to government relations may be abbreviated slightly, but I think his point is valid, that we need to see who we're going to pick and see what they say they're going to do for us first, and just vote it up or down.
Well, Greg, I think the issue was more of moving petitions and comments up, as opposed to moving the candidates up. Okay, so, Michelle, are you at the mic? Okay, all right, seeing no one else, I'm gonna vote on your amendment, because there's other amendments that need to be made, okay? So his amendment, once again, is to move the concerns and comments behind the treasurer's report and add have the candidates speak under appearances. All in favor of that, please raise your voting cards. All opposed? Okay, so it passes. Just for that one change, okay? Also on the agenda, under new business, Missy Von Basich has asked to be placed on the agenda under immigration. She has a motion on immigration. Okay, yes. I'm sorry. I said new business. Okay. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented. Yes.
I have an addition of some sort.
Yes.
I think it's new business, but the reason I rise is the conflict with our March rep council meetings being on the same day as our work from home grading and planning day.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to address that as new business, but I'm sure we want to address it before we leave today. How will the president like to proceed?
You know, I saw that email just before I came in here, and let me see a show of hands. If we have rep council on that day, will people come? I'm looking for a show of hands. I hear grumbling. How many people would come if we have it that day? How many people would not come? Okay, so I will take that under advisement, and I will let the body know. I'll have to make a decision. All right? Okay. I just haven't had time to think about it. Okay? I need to also add under appearances, Rowena Shern, who's our state board member. And the reason why the agenda was light, you want to make a report?
I'm actually going to table my report because based upon the length of the meeting currently, I will table it into March.
Okay, all right, thank you, appreciate you. Okay, and we have other committees that I'm hearing buzz will also put their reports in writing to the chair, okay? I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented, as amended, excuse me, I'm sorry. Please go to a mic. Michelle?
I make the motion, Michelle Clark, Board of Directors, to accept the agenda as modified.
Second?
Second, Marvin Burke.
All in favor signify by holding up your voting cards and say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, the approval of the minutes from January 23rd, 2017. I'll entertain a motion from the microphone to accept those minutes as prepared.
I move that we, Rainier Miller Board of Directors, I move that we accept the minutes from, you said January 23rd?
January 23rd, yes ma'am. Can I get a second, please?
Rowena Shern, Board of Directors, second.
Thank you. All in favor of accepting the January 23rd minutes, please say aye. Or hold your voting cards. All opposed? Okay, appearances. Rowena said that she will hold off on her report from the state. However, most of what Rowena would be saying is gonna be in our GR report, so hang tight for that. Where's NECC? Are they ready? Linda?
Yes,
You want to have the candidates come up here and speak, please?
If it is okay with the chair, I'm going to make a couple of announcements before we start.
Sure.
Okay. So due to some technical difficulties, the election schedule will be adjusted. The new dates will be from March 20th to March 31st. Phone calls will be made with the results to individuals running for Board of Directors and Treasurer on Wednesday, April 5th. All other results will be available on the PGCEA website on Thursday, April 6th. The MSEA election has ended. Results will be validated and released on March 1st. Tonight, we will be hearing speeches from those individuals running for Board of Directors and Treasurer. Speeches will be heard in alphabetical order, with the candidate running for Treasurer presenting first. Please keep in mind that you will be electing 4 board members. So, to begin, we have Tawana Lane running for Treasurer. Okay, and Charles Bird will be sitting here with a timer. He has cards that he's going to hold up for the candidates to let them know when it's 3, 2, 1, and your last 30 seconds. Okay, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Tawana R. Lane, and I am running for re-election as the treasurer of PGCEA. Part of my role for nearly 2 years has been to provide us with a more structure to the order of the treasurer. Therefore, I have made sure that our members have received monthly written reports, both in paper when needed and also online. I've also presented reported our funds, brought forth policies that will assure our association is moving so smoothly. As your treasurer, I will continue to honor my fiduciary responsibility and make sure our dues are being used correctly and report that information to you and the board of directors. Now more than ever, we must ensure that we have adequate funds in our account to service the association and its members. Now more than ever, we must become the preeminent voice for public education and our students. It is important that our funds are organized and reported accurately, especially when education and our labor organizations are being invaded by those who have no knowledge of what it takes to do what we do. I have developed a relationship and remain in contact with our state treasurer and accountant. I have been trained by members of our national organization to assure that I am working in the best interest of our members. As your treasurer, I plan to update and present policies that will protect our financial well-being. Make sure that our committee chairs have an understanding of their fiduciary responsibility and are aware of how the funds are spent. I ask that you will let me, Tawana R. Lane, continue to be transparent by electing to serve as your treasurer once again. Thank you for allowing me to serve as PGCEA treasurer, and I ask that you would choose me, Tawana Lane, to continue to serve.
We will now be hearing speeches from our candidates running for the board of directors. First, we have Donna Christie.
For the sake of expediency, can we have the candidates come sit up in the front here, please? Thank you.
All right. So I'm Donna Christie. I've been serving on your board of directors for 2 years. This is the end of my first term. And I would appreciate if you would re-elect me to the board. Winston Churchill once said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." Rahm Emanuel said it too, but we're going to keep this copy off of Mr. Churchill. So we are living in a time of political uncertainty and fear. Things are moving quickly. There's a lot going on at the national, state, and local levels. But rather than getting lost in despair, we must seize these crises as opportunities for change, as opportunities to learn from the failures of the past election, as opportunities to reevaluate our values as Americans, and as opportunities to inspire renewal, as we've been seeing in all of the protests across the country, and what I believe President Dudley is going to talk about during GR. At the state level, we have a state board that wants to maintain the focus on standardized testing as it develops its implementation plan for ESSA. We have a governor that is spitefully withholding funds. He can't do anything else with that money. It's just sitting there. It's designated for public schools, but he's just refusing to give it to the schools that need it. Here locally, we have a multitude of issues on a macro and a micro level. We have the excessive abuse of administrative leave. And we have a school board that's, the whole structure is being reevaluated as we speak. And then at the CPAC conference last week, Betsy DeVos referred to us, our association, our union, as wanting to maintain the status quo. Now, is anyone in here actually trying to maintain the status quo? No. I didn't think so. Is anybody in this room actually happy with the way things are? I know I'm not happy, and I'm not trying to maintain the status quo. I'm here to create change. To change the policies that push our students out of the classroom and into cells. To change a special education system that values paperwork over progress. To change perceptions of educators that chose public service as their profession. And to change the opinions of the public about our public schools. My own daughter attends a Title I school, and it's very frustrating to me that they say that you know the quality of the school based on the zip code. I don't live in the best zip code. My child doesn't go to, so therefore my child doesn't go to the best school, but she's getting a phenomenal education. I love the education that my child is receiving at her Title I school. I believe in public schools. I believe that the quality of my child's education depends on me more as a parent. And I know that her teachers are working hard, even though she's only one of only 20 students in her entire school that does not receive a free or reduced meal. So if you want change, then vote for me, Donna Christie, for Board of Directors.
Thank you, Donna. Up next, we will have Michelle Clark, followed by Deidre Daniels.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle Clark. I currently serve on your board of directors, and I'm asking for your vote to help me be reelected to the board of directors. My passion and joy in life is instilling a love of learning and a solid foundation in my students. And really the love of learning is the main thing, because if they don't want to learn, they're not going to go anywhere. But I'm here tonight as a member of the board. And unfortunately right now, and for the second time this year, I'm not able to do what I've always wanted to do because I've been injured by a student. I teach pre-K, so don't be too surprised, but my arm was used as a monkey bar, and now I have everything in my arm going wrong. So I understand what it's like to be at home and not be able to do what you want and not to be able to work with what your passion is in life. Honestly, teachers aren't here for the money. We all know that, because if we wanted money, this wouldn't be our chosen profession. We need money to survive like anybody else, and we need improvements in our salary, absolutely, which is why I'm working with our interest-based bargaining unit. But I would much rather be with my students on a daily basis than looking at myself in the mirror or laying in bed or taking care of whatever I need to take care of. And I'm sure all my friends who are on administrative leave feel the same way. And right now, we have a toxic culture in our schools. It is a culture of see something, say something. What you see and what you say don't necessarily have to align with each other. For example, my friend in the front row over here, Martha Bryce, who's been teaching for 43 years, has been out for a month and a half on administrative leave because she chose to have lunch with her students. Well, where she eats lunch, the students had to sit on the floor. They asked to sit with her. But somebody took a picture and said she was using corporal punishment. So now she's on leave. 43 years, first time she's had an issue. What is going on in our school system? We need to change this culture. There are signs all over my building. If you see something, say something. Last time I checked, we aren't Homeland Security. We're teachers, and we're there to educate. And we can educate our coworkers as well as our students as to what is right. If it's not obviously wrong, we don't have to fix it. But this culture is wrong, and it needs to change. Going forward as a member of the board of directors, hopefully, you'll reelect me. That's what I would like to do. I would like to see the culture change. We all need to change, and it needs to be better for us in our classrooms. Thank you, and please remember to vote for me, Michelle Clark. See, I set my own timer. Now I can't get it to stop. For the re-election to the Board of Directors.
Thank you, Michelle. Next up, we have Deidre Daniels.
Good evening, all. I'm Deidre Daniels, and I am a rep from James McHenry Elementary. I have been in the district now this is my 3rd year, so this is my first time being available to be on your board. So I want to join the board because I am willing to learn and do what is necessary to make sure that Prince George's County stays a place where we all want to be. And I have been lots of places, and this is the best place I have ever been. So if you ever want to sit down and talk to me about the 25 years that I've put in other places all over the country, and having a place where at least you all get to come to the table and discuss and bargain for a contract is much better than sitting in the school board and having them say, you should just be happy because you get to work in this lovely county of ours. You shouldn't be asking for anything other than the niceties that we offer you, which was nothing. So, like I said, being here and being in Prince George's County has let me see that there are some wonderful opportunities out there for teachers, and I hope that I can help Prince George's County. I'm ready to listen, I'm ready to learn, so that I can be even better at sharing this opportunity with others and letting them know what they can do to make their lives better. So I am Deidre Daniels, new to Prince George's County, but not new to education. Vote for me.
Next, we have Annette Jones. Okay.
Thank you. Hello, colleagues. I am Annette Jones. You know me. I would like to be your representative on the board of directors. I've been active for over 10 years in union representation. Previously, I've worked as a co-chair for Read Across America, and presently, I am the co-chair of the MAC committee. As such, I've had responsibility to work with committee members to present programs such as the MLK Art and Essay competition, the scholarship under the umbrella of the foundation, and we had a foundation awards presentation. To streamline a panel discussion, institutional racism, the elephant in the room, and now you're experiencing the annual Taste of Diversity, and I see that you're enjoying it. I choose to be part of the board of directors because presently the climate in education appears to be very unstable, and you will agree with me. You see, my friends, each school year there's something new and it's not starting. We are in crucial, hostile times, especially now that the education secretary is anti-public education. This is a time we need our voice to be heard. I want to be that voice for you. When you can't be there in situations that need your representation, I'll be that voice for you. If you can't be there due to family commitments, I will be that voice. No more can we be called such as thugs, and we do not respond and say, we will be the best thugs that can be. I will be that voice for you. When you are starched with SLOs like now, workload, and want to say enough is enough, I will stand with you and be that voice. We cannot allow MSDE, Prince George's Board of Education, Russian Baker, Governor Hogan, our superintendent, and Donald Trump to ignore us. It's not that way. This is the time we need our voice to be heard, and I will be that voice. My friends and colleagues, you see, we need to rise up and stand for what we need, what matters to us most. We are a profession of greatness, and greatness is what we need. So, my colleagues, I want to advocate on your behalf for issues and policies that affect you as classroom teachers. I will work well, but wisely on your behalf. I'm asking for your vote of confidence to be that representative on the board of directors who will speak up and be bold, who will go the way with you, fight the fight with you. I will walk and talk the talk because I am committed. I will be committed in serving you. I am Anna Jones. Please vote for board of directors and I approve this message.
Okay, next we will hear from Mark King. Is he here? Mark? Going once? Going twice? Laura Lanasa? Laura? No? Okay. Then next we will hear from Amity Pope.
Colleagues, my name is Amity Pope, and I'm a mentor teacher in the Office of Talent Development. And I want to thank you for being here this evening and taking time out of your busy schedule. Before I share why I'm running, I would just like to share a little bit about myself. This is my 16th year in Prince George's County Public Schools. I began as a 5th grade generalist, 6th grade mathematics, 7th and 8th grade mathematics, and RTI teacher. And now I'm a mentor teacher, in which I'm assigned to work with first-year teachers and those that are new to our district. As a teacher leader in our district, I represent and have represented you in a number of ways. As a member on the Teacher and Principal Steering Committee, I've advocated for keeping the framework for teaching observable factors limited to the current model of observable factors, when administrators on that same committee entertained the thought of increasing the number, without any additional systemic, streamlined professional learning opportunities to support. As a result, the framework for teaching observable factors have remained the same. I've also advocated for mainstreaming the process of supporting teachers in the area of writing student learning objectives. And as a result, the development of those instructional strategies that pop down in the menu, per subject, pre-populated, they were available for teachers to utilize. I played an integral role in creating the very first, how many people remember the first professional development sessions? It worked very hard, tirelessly with PGCEA's PDL committee to make the available sessions constantly available for teachers to have at their disposal and take advantage of. And when I was told by my office that our office wouldn't be responsible for supporting PDLTs that could then support colleagues in the buildings with framework for teaching, I asked my supervisor if there was any way to create online, ongoing framework for teaching modules. And I'm pleased to present that we have 3 modules that are available now in ERO, and our office continues to create those to make them available. Additionally, I've supported special educators and leadership in the Department of Education, specifically with peers that have been drastically affected by poor observation ratings from their administrators in self-contained classrooms. By identifying school administrators that needed additional support in their observation reliability, I work with principals and residents to bring attention to the necessary recalibration of school administrators and develop strategies to empower special educators in designing a draft model of how descriptors of practices look specifically in those environments and populations. These are just a couple of the things that I've done in my short tenure, and I will continue to do so. I believe in accepting nothing less from administrators or anyone that wants to impact the well-being or livelihood of colleagues, because it is unacceptable for us to be evaluated on something we have not been trained or given adequate assistance. PGCEA is governed by the Board of Directors and is the governing body. It is the representative assembly that's elected these board of director members, and it is my job, my duty, to support educators like I've done before, I will continue to do. I ask that you vote for me, board of directors.
Thank you. Eli Chichemney, is he here? Delicia Vance? No? And Suzanne Windsor? And with that, Madam Chair, we are done. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay, back to our agenda. We have the candidates. Treasurer's report, Ms. Lane.
Good evening. So I presented the report to you. I also presented a committee budget analysis, that's for the committee chairs, and just also for the members to know what we budgeted and where they are today. If any committee chairs or co-chairs wish to know the breakdown, please email myself and CC our accountant. I'll entertain questions in sake of time. Any questions about the budget? If you have any questions, please feel free to email me myself and our accountant. Please always include the accountant in your email. And I'll be here to do my meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I just want to give a special whoop whoop. Come on now, whoop whoop. To Tawana for her work with our early career leadership fellows. We give it up for her because she put a lot of time into this. And she won't tell you how much time she's put into it, but I know she's been putting a lot of time into it. And she was definitely, I would have to say, one of the best coaches of the cadre. There are, I think, 9 or 10 locals across the United States, and we were fortunate enough to get a grant to run our early career leadership fellows program. And what that does is it trains 1 to 5 years into the profession on how to be leaders in PGCEA. And we have 1 or 2 fellows in the room. Can you stand up so we can see everyone? And then working along with our future teacher committee. So I'm proud of them, and I have to say I was so proud when we got to Orlando for the NEA Leadership Summit. And I'll talk about that some more in my president's report. But I just want to say that it has been my honor and pleasure to be able to know that I didn't have to worry about that. And that's how it should be as president. You shouldn't have to worry about it. She comes and tells me what she needs, and we talk about it, and it's done. So that's a beautiful thing. Okay, so member comments is next, and we will take 20 minutes exactly. It is now, what does that say? 5:26. Is the camera on, sir?
Yes.
Took have been accepted and will be reflected on the proposal on the ballot.
Thank you, Charles. Next up, government relations, Sarah Leo.
I want to make sure everybody has this folder.
Did everybody get the folder? That's real important.
Raise your hand if you get one. Randy will pass it out. We'll get them out.
You need that folder in order to be successful this month. And I helped stuff them today. So.
Michelle, I was trying. I know, you're one-handed. Yes, I'm one-handed. I'm sorry. question, and it's kind of off topic. How many of you, by a show of hands, got an email about Wear Red for Ed? Okay, that means if you didn't get one, we don't have your non-PGCEAS email to contact. So we need to make sure that we get that. You can email Randy Mickens or Jamal Miller. In your folder, on the left-hand side, we're going to start on the left-hand side.
Just so you know, I have it up on the screen.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so on the left you have two flyers that are technically, if you got the smaller ones as well, you'll see on the front and the back. These are to post in your, wherever you post your PGCA information, that's why it's one-sided. So the first one, I'm not going to read everything to you, but I do want to take note to the second page. I do want to go over that just briefly so that you can look at the date. So on the right-hand side where it says Protect Maryland Schools. So there's a couple of things happening. There's a week of action, the week of Monday, March 13th. The first one is to march with hundreds of educators. We're going to go down in droves to our legislators' offices to know that we are standing together. There's another sheet on the left-hand side of where you can meet with your with our colleagues at your school to get their information if they want to go. Okay, I'm going to come back to this in a second, but that's what that is for, to get people to go. The second day, Tuesday, March 14th, wear red for Ed, and you can call the representatives. Yes.
Can I just add something to
Sure.
the day of action on the 13th?
Right. Well, I'm coming back to it more.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to go through this thing. Wednesday, March 15th. It's not just Trump DeVos. You need to call call your legislators again. Thursday, March 16th, funding shortfalls, childhood poverty over testing. You can email your legislators to Protect Our Schools Act, and I'm not reading everything there. You can go back and read. Friday, March 17th, second annual Twitter storm. You can call your legislators and ask them to pass the Protect Our Schools Act. So there are a number of things that are happening that week. So what we're asking you to do, and I'm coming back to not just the flyers, marching to protect your schools, a week of action, but having a 10-minute meeting with your staff or with your colleagues over the next week, getting them to sign up to join us in Annapolis, to go over the MSCA legislation. I have a number of notes so I can't cover everything. So there's a different activity where each week, have everybody sign up. If you could please have this filled out. If you need to make another copy, that's fine. But if you can have it faxed over or emailed to Randy Mickens or Jamal Miller by Wednesday, March 8th, so we can get the buses together and give them a chance to get organized, that would be great. Sorry. There are buses. We'll start here and we'll go together on March 13th, but we'd like to have the information by March 8th.
This is where I need to add something.
Okay.
We need to know whether by no later than the 6th, that Monday before, so that we can get buses. Because
I gave a little bit more time.
Okay, the reason for that is that if we have enough of a demand, so if we have 60 people who want to go from Laurel, we have to be in Annapolis at 5 o'clock. So if we have a bus that leaves from Laurel, and a bus that leaves from Crossland, and a bus that leaves from PGCEA, or we have to have a bus that leaves from Benjamin Tasker, or somewhere where people can get to in different parts of the county, I have no problem with doing that, but we have to be a little bit more organized about how we do it. So, and if you want to drive yourself, you have to park at the stadium, and you're gonna have to catch a bus or the trolley down. So you're better off riding with us. And the plan is for us to meet at the MSCA headquarters, and they're gonna have like a rally at MSCA. Lily Eskelsen Garcia, the president of NEA, is actually coming, and she's confirmed to come. So this is something you really want to be at. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I went to the one in 2010 and 2013. It was fun.
Okay. So that it's really important that we have a count of how many people are going. If you have not responded to the email from MSCA about we have 70 people who have RSVP'd already. How many of you have RSVP'd already? Okay, so everybody needs to come. It's gonna be fun. Okay?
Just so you know, the fax number here is 301. Fax number here is 301-568-8900. I will, 301-568-8900.
But the email is actually better. The email is actually better because then they can put them all in one document and print them out. So it's R. Mickens, RMICKENS, R like Randy, Mickens, MICKENS, at PGCEA. Oh, I'm sorry, you're MSCA, right? Yeah. At MSCANEA.org. Because he used to work for the state, that's why. Okay, we got that?
RMICKENS at MSCEANEA.org. It's the Maryland and state together, MSEANEA.org. All right, on the right-hand side of your folder, and I know President Dudley's going to speak on these for the GR. For the March Week of Action, the script, when you have the 10-minute meeting with your colleagues, here's what we'd like you to say, give you some background information of what you can talk about with our colleagues.
Does everybody know what a 10-minute meeting is?
We wish our staff would have one.
A 10-minute meeting is where you call your staff in for 10 minutes and you tell them what's going on. And you share the information about the Wear Red Week and everything. And she gave you a script on how to do the 10-minute meeting, so you can do the 10-minute meeting. Okay? All right.
The next page is the MSCEA legislative priorities for 2017. And I know this is where President Dudley will definitely speak on. There's a number of things that they're looking at to talk about, and this gives you background information to those, what MSCEA is doing this year. The next page is some more information on how MSCEA would like to implement ESSA, the Every Student Succeed Act in Maryland. And that's background information for you on that sheet. So this packet is full of information for you to know about what's going on in the state of Maryland. In the back of the packet, there's a number of articles on the implementation of ESSA in Maryland for you to peruse and get more information.
And the state of Maryland is taking feedback until April the 1st on ESSA reauthorization. And that packet gives you the guidelines on what our issues are with MSCA. So you can go to the MSDE website and respond to the plan that they have for ESSA reauthorization. Now, many of you were at the legislative breakfast where Cheryl Bose gave information about the ESSA reauthorization in Maryland and what we need to do. If you were not there, we will be getting that information to you again within the next week because we want to make sure that people have an opportunity to weigh in on that.
Okay, and I'm going to let you finish with the priorities. Go to the priorities. You can talk about that in the president's. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Point of information, microphone 2.
Hi, Monica Roebuck, Benjamin Tasker Middle School. We're trying to organize a group at our school, but I wanted to know, do we have templates of letters that we can send out to the legislators? I know we have the priorities, but are there letters that we can send out by email to the legislators? And that question was for President Down.
There are, well, the templates that are available right now are the templates that we have gotten from MSCA about some of the statewide initiatives. The local bills, they have not had an opportunity to completely draft that, but I'm going to talk about some of that under my president's report.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, and we did NECC. Social committee, do you have anything?
Okay, the health fair was great. We had a great time. We had Zumba, we had Caribbean dancing, vendors. So we did a great job. We even had somebody doing toning, and they used chairs to show how you can tone, do some toning as you, in between classes, so when you have an opportunity. And we had hip hop dancing. So this is something we want to continue, just doing things for us, because we all need to have, well, we all, yes, everybody, we want to have healthy habits. Because we don't want to end up, when we leave from teaching or being an educator, we want to be able to walk on our own accord. So we want to make sure that we're able to move, we want to make sure we're able to think, so we can have that done. Also, we had free derm abuse screening, all that was free, blood pressure screening, and we had some samples, retirement plans, and all that here. The Aetna bags that are in the back, all those came from one of the vendors that was here, so we had giveaways. Somebody won, actually, a Fitbit. So, if you weren't here, you need to come to the next one. We want to do some line dancing to get us moving. We have to move.
Okay, Annette Jones, she's in the back doing the food, that's why she spoke. I'm gonna just share the applications are out to the schools. Annette, there you go, come on. I know you were working hard back there.
Good evening, everyone. Anna Jo.
Come up here, Annette, because you have the hard to see.
Yes, good evening again, Anna Jones, math co-chair. Presently, we have prepared the application for the high school seniors. Those who are leaving schools, they are out. All principals have received such. The deadline to turn in your application will be April 12th. We are hoping we can give as many as about 25 scholarships. So please advise your family member, your friend, your neighbor, once they have a senior and they go to school in Prince George's County, to send in an application. All the applications are there, or I think they are also on our PGCA site.
They will be very shortly. We're getting a new PGCEA website.
Okay, so you can check.
Should be coming up within the next week.
So there's enough time for you. Once they have awarded that scholarship, we invite them here at PGCA to make that presentation. Our proposed date will be June 1st at 7 p.m. when they take their family and friends and we give them that scholarship. So that's all for now on our MAC agenda. We want to also thank you for celebrating with us today, your Taste of Diversity. I hope you have enjoyed your meal. Thank you. And to say we appreciate you a whole lot. Thank you.
Okay. Membership, Yvonne Basich.
Hi, everybody. As you probably know, there are a number of court cases that are making their way to the Supreme Court. And these court cases have to do with really right to work. If they are taken up by the Supreme Court and voted the wrong way, what will happen is that you will not be allowed to have fee payers, and you will only be allowed to have voluntary members. Nobody will have to join a union. It will all be voluntary. Basically, it will destroy unions in this country. You will not be able to charge people for negotiating their contract. If you want to talk about how bad right to work is, just talk to somebody from North Carolina. And you'll find out how bad it is to maintain union membership and to collect dues. So what we are going to be doing is getting rid of our fee payers, we hope. We're going to transform them into members. We're going to have 3 receptions here, and yes, mild alcohol will be served in the form of wine. They will be getting, well, the three meetings will be held here with 2 each of our uniserves, so their areas, those fee payers are going to be coming. Now, what we want you to do is to talk to your fee payers in your building. You can get a list. Talk to them and tell them that when they get the invitation, and we're not sending it by email, we're sending a real piece of paper. When they get it, encourage them to come. Okay, it's going to be a social occasion, but also, and we're not going to be pushing very hard, but we are going to give them all the information about what they can get if they're real members. Sorry? Yes, if the reps want to accompany their fee payers, they may come also, but they're not required to come. What we really want you to do is talk to every fee payer in your building and ask them to say yes, that they will come. And tell them we're not going to keep them very long. Their uniserves will talk to them. We will talk to them. Madam President will talk to them. They will be able to ask us any question they want about how membership will benefit them. So, please, encourage them to come. Thank you. Chit Chat. It's called Chit Chat and Chew. Don't ask me why. Somebody said it would sound good.
All right. Those of us that went to the NEA Leadership Summit, and those are the students who won last year. I want you to see all those beautiful faces are all enrolled in higher education because of you. Because those are that's our legacy right there. I just got some really good news, but I can't tell you yet. Okay. Raina Miller.
Good evening, everyone. You're still here. Thank you. Thank you. PDO committee. We had a SLO closeout session the other night. It was a great success. I want to thank everyone who came out. For those of you who wanted to come out, because SLOs is so much fun. I'm sure we'll offer another session at some point. Might be next year, but we will keep trying to get you out and help you through that process. We will have a new teacher refresh on March the 9th. So new teachers in your building, please let them know to be on the lookout for the email inviting them to come out. But we're really going to try to refresh them as it is almost the end of the school year and give them still some contract information and some general information. The Read Across America, who's reading for Read Across America? Well, who's not reading every day anyway? So we'll be celebrating Read Across America all this week. On Thursday morning, we will be at Dodge Park Elementary. Yeah, Dodge Park. We will be having green eggs and a ham. I know your stomach is grumbling for some of that. And we will be reading at, I think we'll begin at 7:45 at Dodge Park. So those of you who are there, we'll see you there. We will be having exciting readers reading across the county. On the whole week, there should be readers across the county. So if you see one, just thank them for coming out. And we are going to have a wonderful week. Continue supporting Dr. Seuss. Thank you.
Read Across America. Read. I read to some students today at Flintstone Elementary School. And I want to give a shout out to Ms. Mallory at Flintstone Elementary School for having a African American author reading day today. And so all of the books that we read were written and illustrated by African-American authors. So she might be watching, so let's give her a hand for that. I like to praise our members who are doing wonderful things. And if you go to the back of the room on your way out, Rania Miller, who just spoke, is featured in the NEA at Justice, Disciplining Girls of Color, Moving from Stereotypes to Self-Awareness. And there's a copy of this in the back of the room for you that you should read, because we are doing a lot about social justice. And Robin McNair was presenting on restorative practices at the NEA Leadership Summit. So people are starting to look at Prince George's County, and we're not just pretty girl county, we're holding it down county. So I'm excited about our efforts. PR committee, Sunil. Zena's still coming back from the trip, she got stuck.
Good evening again, everyone. Okay, coming back from the NEA Leadership Summit, that was based on helping us, the persons who are interested, like myself, to organize in order to put up the fight. I came up with this vision, Fight for Teachers, but I'll make it sound good, Stand for Teachers. However, we had the organization, we talked about advocacy and communication. So it was very thorough in teaching us what we need to do, and then meeting with Betty Wheeler and Cheryl Bowles, getting to sit between them, I felt some kind of way. However, also, we're going to, I'm looking at some notes, moving forward, Costco night, Zena will elaborate on that more, working on CPR certification. Read Across America, as you all mentioned, is coming up, that was mentioned. There's a Facebook group. So if you are on Facebook, you might want to join us.
Our Facebook is PGCEA, the letters PGCEA, and there's 2 Facebooks. But I want you to like both of our Facebooks. That way you'll get, I can put something on Facebook right away and get you.
How many people are on Facebook?
Okay, like us on Facebook, and that way you'll see the posts. So when something happens, we post it on Facebook. Like, I might say, I got an extra ticket to the Wizards game, and I'll post it on Facebook. First person who answers me gets to go to the game. So, but there's also political action that's going on there. So, and our Twitter is PGCEA_PR.
Okay.
Okay?
And then they talked about that second Friday in March. They didn't mention that to chat and shoot with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All done? Any questions, concerns?
Right. The Costco night is gonna happen at all 3 Costcos. If you have a Costco membership card, or if you don't, they are one of our NEA member benefits partners, and they're gonna have a Costco night just for PGCEA members. So, we don't know the date yet. Zena knows, and she's still coming back. I promise you, I'm gonna push this out to you, okay? No, I'm not pushing it out. The PR committee's gonna push it out. Okay. Future teachers, I think we discussed that. Sheena, did you have some things you wanted to share, please? Sheena Washington, our special education chair.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. I just wanted to report that the Special Education Committee is very busy. We're very excited working on our next event, which will be March 14th. We're going to be hosting a special education roundtable in which we will invite special educators from all different levels to come and talk about the issues and talk about the solutions. We'll also be presenting a small session during the roundtable that's going to be called Know Your Rights. So if you have any special educators, please encourage them to come out. We'll be sending out an invite this week. Thank you, Robin. And we also plan on sending out a special education survey for special educators next week so that we can gather data, as my colleague Sunil was talking about, so that we have data to support the current difficulties and challenges of being a special educator. So we need hard data that gives us some real picture, real idea of what's going on in the classrooms and in our schools. I also wanted to speak tonight about, well, I'd just like to thank our committee members. We have been coming out strong for the last couple budget meetings and budget hearings, speaking up and advocating for funding for special education. The CEO actually did include a 4.5 increase for special education funding in this current budget, which is a little bit. It's a little bit. It's not enough to provide the teachers that we need to staff our schools. We currently have about 48 vacancies in special education, which we can fill within our schools, where teachers are kind of picking up the workload because there's an absence of special educators. So we have a lot of advocacy to do. The last piece that I want to talk about, I've been communicating with MSEA this week and over the weekend about a new legislation, House Bill 1240, which is currently coming up. There are 21 delegates who have signed on to House Bill 1240, and it's basically a burden of proof legislation, which will not impact Prince George's County in a positive way. This legislation basically says that the burden of proof will now be placed upon the district and the state to prove that the IEP process was followed. So currently, if a parent wants to take a case to court, they have the burden of proof. They have to pay for the lawyers, they have to pay all the expenses and prove that their child, the IEP process was not followed in that in the right way. And now this legislation is threatening to overturn that, so that Prince George's County is now spending our funds, our 4.5 increase in the budget, we're spending our funds on legislation and not on instruction. So this is potentially very dangerous for our students, and we have a lot of advocacy just to explain the implications of this bill, because parents and teachers, we all want the same thing. We want classrooms where students are supported instructionally. But this legislation is not the answer, so there's a lot of advocacy around. We will definitely be there strong in terms of the week of action in Annapolis. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email.
Okay, thank you, Sheena. The restorative practices, Robin, did you have a report or are you good? The report is okay, thank you. New business. Yvonne Basich?
You should have all picked up a copy of a new business item on immigration agents and our schools. So I move that new business item, and I have a second.
Michelle Clark, Board of Directors, I second.
It's up here.
Yeah, I will see it.
You have to read it.
No, I'm not going to read it.
No, but I can't make it any bigger. I don't know if they have a copy.
Oh, okay, I will
You have
read
a copy
it.
of it? Okay, good.
Everybody should have a copy. I've been around for about 500 years, and I'm mad as hell, and I don't want to take it anymore. Daily, literally daily, our rights are being whittled away, slowly, to the point where you don't even see it. You're only going to see the accumulation of it, but you don't see the daily chipping away. And the president, well, there is a lot to be said for the president, but he's under the impression that all he has to do is say, do it, and it will be done. It could be against the Constitution, it could be against the law, it could be against immigrants, it could be against religions, against races. He thinks it will be done. And frankly, we need to defend our students. So, and this has been done, by the way, this is nothing new, what I've written here. This has been done in other cities where schools have been told that if immigration agents show up and they just want to look around and talk to students, the answer is no. The answer is, show me a criminal warrant for a specific person in this building and we will let you in. So that's the answer, and it's very simple, and what we're asking is for the CEO to tell the administrative staff in each school that they are not to let them in unless they have a warrant. That's all there is to it. We, as teachers, are not going to be doing the job of the immigration system. They can do their own damn jobs. And if they want to throw out immigrants, that's what they'll have to do, but we don't need to help them. By the way, I was an immigrant in 2 different countries. One illegal and one legal. But here I am.
Mark Sandy, microphone 2.
Mark Sandy, Board of Directors. I just have a point of information in regards to how does this differ from the statement that has already been put out by the CEO?
It doesn't.
As far as I saw, the statement that was put out by our CEO was very general. It just said, we will stand up for our students. He didn't say how. This is a little more specific. He said we would defend our students. He also didn't say how. So it was a general statement. I don't think he will disagree with this. This is a little more specific.
And also in answer to the point of information, Mark, I have spoken with the CEO about this matter because we took a position as a board of directors to support the Maryland Trust Act. And what the Maryland Trust Act does is it allows for government entities to not cooperate with federal authorities when they want to do unwarranted searches on people because you look like an immigrant. So what the trust bill does, and I testified on it last week, it ensures that our schools will be sanctuaries and safe places for our children. And this is in line with that. It is more specific, but it is in line with the position that the board of directors took at our last rep council meeting after we had adjourned because there wasn't quorum. So, oh no, it was February meeting, wasn't it? It was a February board meeting. January. You know what? I love y'all, but days run together after a while. Point of blue card. Blue card.
I'd like to move to amend this motion.
Yes.
That's where we are right now. So I would like to move to add an amendment that says right now the NBI says to school administrative personnel, and I'd like to include school educators, all school personnel, just because there may be a situation where they try to come to the classroom or it's an after-school activity.
Do you accept that as friendly, Yvonne? Okay? Now, I wanna go to the green card, and I got a white card, point of information.
Sarah Flynn, Mount Rainier.
Yes.
I'm wondering whether it would be limiting or adding more specificity if we added, instead of just immigration and customs enforcement or ICE in the name. Are there other people who would enforce immigration that we would be asking to not be allowed in?
If I may answer that just a little bit, the federal government is now deputizing local police in order to do this job. So they can deputize anybody in order to do that job for them. So if you say that, we'll limit it.
Green card, speaking in support.
Well, thank you. Just speaking in quick support, and the reason why I seconded this motion is if you're not aware, they have just changed, or this MBI, they just changed the law in Texas to allow anybody to come into any school at any time and question and take out students. And we definitely need something like this to protect our students in our school. I have a whole bunch of English language learners in my class. Frankly, I don't care if they're citizens or not. My job is to educate them, not to prosecute them or their parents. And I don't wish to help anybody in that regard.
Mark Sandy, motion, amendment.
I'm not sure if it's an amendment or if my motion is to table this, because I would like to make sure that it's legally responsible. And part and parcel, when we start saying that everyone will enforce, meaning teachers stopping people from doing things, we start opening a door that I don't want open, because I'm not stopping anybody from coming into the building. That's not my responsibility. If I can get put on administrative leave for standing in front of the door, then I think we end up putting the teachers in a bad position. So I want to make sure that a worse position. Rather, we sure can. But I would like to make sure that it is that we do get some legal counsel on this before we put it out there like that.
So is that a motion to table, sir?
Yes.
Until when? You have to give me a definite date, you have to give me a definite date.
Until our next rep council meeting, and such that we got legal counsel.
Yes, our new executive director starts on Wednesday. So do you have a second, Mark? A motion to table is not debatable. All in favor of tabling this until we get a legal opinion, please raise your voting cards. All opposed? Okay, so we will table this. I will consult with MSEA Legal, and I will get back to you. However, I will say this. This board of directors is in solidarity with our students. We took a position in favor of the Trust Act to protect our students with the Maryland legislation, and you're gonna get I want to talk about that in my president's report. I want to get to it. Right now, I need a motion to extend for the purposes of the president's report. Thank you, Mark Knighton. Second by Albert Barnes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. Okay. I'm going to go through this, and I will send you a written version. I will tell you this. The past 2 months have been probably the hardest 2 months of my life. Having gone through surgery, working without an executive director in place, and having some changes in administrative staffing that have made things very challenging. I do want to say, however, that I love our staff here at PGCEA. I want to say that they have risen to the occasion in a way that I get goosebumps every night when I say my down on lamies and I pray for them. Because they leave after me sometimes. And I'm here till 10 o'clock sometimes, and I gotta run down the hallway and say, Randy and Cheryl, it's time to go. And they're still here working. Ray's still here late working. Jamal's still here working on the weekends. And I wanna also say, has anybody called PGCEA lately? The phones are being answered, aren't they? Yes. Okay? If you have any problems with the nobody answering the phone, all you gotta do is call me. The phones will be answered. We have corrected that dilemma. Thank you. The phones are being answered. That's the way it's gonna be. And I wanna thank the board of directors for making that happen. Because I don't do this by myself. I do this with them and their support. Okay, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to know that there is a House Bill 1565. House Bill 1565. And I'd like you to take your phones out right now, because it's Monday night, the Maryland General Assembly offices are open. They don't go into session until 8 o'clock. And I want you to take out your phone. You were given a list of your state contacts in that folder that we gave you, or was in the back of the room. And if you don't have it, you can, it looks like this. Where's mine? I just got it. It's a table. Hold yours back up so they can see it, baby. See that? All right, does everybody know who their state delegates are? If you don't, write this down. You can go to www.ndelect.net. I need you to call their offices right now, whoever your state delegates are, and I'll give you a couple of names that you need to make sure you call. One is Geraldine Valentino Smith. Geraldine Valentino Smith. She is the chair of the House Education Committee, the Prince George's House Delegation Committee. And they are meeting Wednesday morning to discuss the proposal that PGCEA, ASASP 2250, and Local 400, SEIU, all four of the unions collectively have brought this proposal to restructure how the school board operates, to minimize the amount of absolute power that the CEO has. This bill would allow the elected school board to have more decision-making authority. The bill would set up a commission that would review and nominate the appointed persons, so that the county executive would no longer appoint them, the commission would. And the commission is a group of stakeholders. When I say a group of stakeholders, I mean PGCEA, I mean Local 2250, I mean ASASP, and I mean Local 400, along with our community partners, the NAACP, CASA of Maryland, the PTAs, and the other, and each one of the bodies get one select person to be on that committee. So the House delegation would send somebody, the Senate delegation would send somebody, and the county executive would have one person. And then that committee would be charged with the 5 appointed people who sit on the appointed school board. The elected 9 members would still be elected by at-large districts. Now, the issues that you brought here today, I got you, hold on. The issues that you brought here to me today, right now, it's very difficult for all 4 of the unions to have this issue, especially the issues of so many people being placed on leave. We just don't have it here right now. I don't feel that we have had it here for a long time. And when people look me in the face and say, yeah, we're doing what we can, and I have families being ruined and people seeking psychiatric and psychological counseling because they're afraid they're going to lose their job over something stupid, that's a problem. So this is the first time in a long, long time that PGCEA and the other 4 unions, the other 3 unions, have come together as a coalition to address the issues. Because I met with Dwayne Jones, the president of the Principals Union, and I've met with the president of the ESPs and the support staff, and all of these problems are affecting all of us. They're suspending bus drivers for stuff that you would go, really? Just like they're doing us. And it goes even deeper than that when you start thinking about how they're treating the maintenance staff at our charter schools, where they're not hiring they're hiring contractors and not giving them good union jobs with benefits because they think they can get away with that. Rising tide carries all ships. So I'm asking you to support, the board of directors has taken a position of support, and we ask you to contact your delegate, Geraldine Valentino Smith, Carolyn Howard, Carlos Sanchez, that's the 47th district, Daryl Barnes, who's in the 25th. How many of you live in the 25th? Okay, Daryl Barnes, he needs to hear from you. Okay? You are in Geraldine Valentino Smith's district for you, the school is, Benjamin Tasker is. I know that for a fact. You can call him anyway. Daryl Barnes and Tawana Gaines. 1 N. If she 2 N's, I'm just being smart. You know how we try to spell that, right? Okay, point of information, microphone 2.
Just wanted to ask, has the Board of Education members that have so graciously come and graced their presence here, have we spoken to them about supporting this this bill? Because they've come, they spoke, and and asked us to support them in electing them. I think that it would be awesome if we can ask them for the same support in this bill and any bills that come to the table from the union.
The original bill that was proposed, and you're asking me information I'm giving to you. The original bill that was proposed was put in as a placeholder, and that was to totally go back to remove what happened with HB 1107, which happened 4 years ago, which put this structure in place. It was for a total repeal. And the Prince George's County Board of Education voted to oppose it because of the structural imbalance that exists right now. Dr. Maxwell proposed to them that they oppose it, and they opposed it without even seeing what amendments could or possibly have been made. When Carolyn Howard first introduced the legislation, her intent wasn't to repeal it. Her intent was to come up with something that everybody could live with and make it a more balanced operation of the school board. And she asked us to put something together that would make more sense, that would work for everybody. They have not reviewed Carolyn Howard's bill. If you would like to look at House Bill 1565 and the changes that we have proposed, I didn't have an opportunity to print it out for you, I'm gonna be honest with you. But what I shared with you is that this gives checks and balances to the school board. It empowers the body so that they will be, instead of the county executive appointing the chair and the vice chair, they elect their own leadership.
Yeah, I understand that, but I was just asking if we've spoken to the ones that have asked for us to endorse them.
And some of the board members are, I know for sure, are in favor of this. Some of them might not be in favor of it because they were appointed by the county executive and they have an allegiance to that. Point of information, okay?
Okay, Sheena Washington. I just have a point of information. I know that the board of directors, and I am I've spoken in support of the repeal several times, but I know the board of directors, we have not specifically looked at this specific House bill version. And so when you mentioned tonight about the commission and the specific details of who makes up that commission and the power that the commission has in terms of nominating members, I was not even, aware that that was a restructuring. So I'm a little bit wary of saying that this is supported by the board of directors because we have not seen this version. And so I don't think that that is accurate in terms of, I support coming to the table and changing the current structure, making it more democratic. But a commission, in the way that you just described it, does not sound 100% to me as a solution that would be favorable.
The packet that was given to the board members at the last board meeting included the proposed restructuring amendments that we were sharing with I shared what the union, the labor unions were negotiating. I did share that with the board at the last board meeting. It was in your board packet. It outlined exactly who was in that committee. It's in your board packet.
Yeah, so again, this version that is online, dated February 17th, 2017, was not looked at the board meeting.
Because that is the law that was drafted by when you give somebody amendments and things that you want to see changed, they then have to put it in the legal language so that it looks like a bill. So when labor unions met with Carolyn Howard, we gave her the things that we would like to see implemented. So what you're looking at is Carolyn took the things that we gave to her, and then she had it put into language such as that you're looking at. So did the PGCEA Board of Directors officially vote to support this amended version? No, they did not. However, the coalition of labor unions, the four of us sat down, and this was what we had to have something that had to be dropped by last Friday. It had to be in their hands so that they could draft it. If you notice, on Friday, the county executive reappointed Dr. Maxwell for another 4-year term. Okay? So with that in hand, we felt that it was really necessary for us to coalesce on this and really keep our position on this, because there is not a will in the Prince George's County delegation to get rid of Maxwell and upset the apple cart. The issue is not who is in the CEO seat. The issue is checking the CEO. So if you don't want to make the calls, that's your decision. I'll bring it back up to the board of directors and we'll talk about it. But the reality is that they are voting on this on Friday. Legislation moves very quickly in Annapolis or moves very slowly. And this particular piece is moving very quickly. And so that was why I took the position, and after consulting with our uniserves, our legislative uniserves, as an association, what would be best for PGCEA. So.
I have another question, but I also see Randy over there.
Okay.
I was just wondering how many delegates have signed on to this?
It's hasn't
been introduced yet.
It's gonna be heard. It was just given to the delegates last Wednesday, and they started the hearings last Wednesday. I testified last Wednesday, and they've continued that until this Wednesday morning at 8:30 in the morning, I believe, if the meeting starts.
I don't see any names listed. Do you know how many delegates have signed on? Is it just two? Or is it just one?
I don't know how many have signed on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't have a point of information. I just want to clarify that the gentleman before Sheena, his question was, have we asked Edward Burrows, Rahila Ahmed, and the other gentleman on the school board, have they supported us in this endeavor? That's what he wanted.
They were in favor of the total repeal.
But have they sent that to the legislators?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So I'd like for you to call them and do that, do your legislative diligence on that. And I just want to touch on two or three last little things. One, the medical technical review is completed, where I served on the committee that reviewed our medical plans. Our medical plans are either going to stay the same or they're going to change. I don't know yet. But the technical review committee, it was 70% of the vote. And so we really looked at them very hard about what would be any disruptions of service. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I think we're close to staying kind of where we are with what we have. I didn't get a sense that there was a big, strong will to change, but there's still the financial review where they're going to look at the money and how much it's going to cost. And I want to say this, we're not healthy. As a union, we're not healthy. Our members have high blood pressure, diabetes, and are not taking care of themselves, and we're eating our stress out. I'm just saying, it's stressful and we're eating. And I know I'm bad because I put chocolate out there in the lobby for you, okay? But real talk is, that fitness event was a great event, and we're gonna do more and more and more, because we've got to, despite where you work, you gotta take care of yourself, because if you don't have your health, Celeste Williams used to tell me this all the time, if you don't have your health, she's our former president, you don't have anything. And I'll tell you, that came really clear to me back in December when I was having surgery, and the thought of not being able to come back and function in this capacity. So take care of yourselves. The other piece, tuition reimbursement. We are, Cheryl McLeod has some information on the tuition reimbursement.
Sure. Hello, everybody. There has been a lot of activity coming to us in reference to the fact that the school system has run out of money in regards to tuition reimbursement. I was not here in the past. That language has been, and that practice has been in place for quite a while. So I tried to get a sense as to whether or not the heat that we were getting from our members was something that has happened every year to this volume. And in essence, my colleagues and all have said not to this volume. So here's the situation that actually helps us. The current language, and I will read it to you, it does say that unit members shall be reimbursed up to, and it says $411 for credit up to 12 per contract year, right? Reimbursement will be established on a first come, first served basis, subject to budget allocations, and shall apply to the following, and then there's some criteria. That is language that's in the contract. The information that when our people call HR or whoever it is, professional development, they say, and the document says, that the union establishes the procedures. First come, first serve can mean many things. I've asked my colleagues, have we ever actually been a part of establishing what that means? And the answer's been no. So the decisions as to what that means has not been with us. The first come, first serve language has been. So, but we're not pushing back on the board because the fact that they are saying to you that we establish the procedures, gives us the authority this round in negotiations to what? Establish the procedures. So we're gonna make them true to their word, since at the moment, it's very easy for them to push to us and say, well, all the contract languages, all the unions establish what the procedure is. First come, first serve, in and of itself, stand alone. We don't know what that means. That can mean first come based on X amount available semester 1, X amount available semester 2, or just whenever whoever gets theirs in first. The up to 411 means up to. Does that mean that people are getting the full amount when it says how much for 12 credits, or some people are getting a few? We don't have the answers to that because we've never seen how the system actually distributes it. So what I am going to say is we're hearing you, and the language does say we should be a part of that process, and so we're now going to make that happen. I am calling together a group of your colleagues, and I'm looking for, and I have some people who are already self-selecting, tenured people who've received tuition reimbursement in the past, tenured people who have never received it, although they have applied numerous times, and non-tenures who've received, and non-tenures who have not received. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do the research, because no other county in the state runs out of money but Prince George. So that already says there's a problem. So listen out, there's going to be a few more names that folks are recommending to me. We're going to come together, come up with a plan, because we can't just say tuition reimbursement, first come, first serve is not fair. We have to come up with a couple of options that widen the accessibility, but it may lower the amount of money that most people will get in order to do that. So everybody just kind of be prepared and be ready. So we may be soliciting you to recommend a person or two to help us with this committee, so listen out. Thanks.
Okay. Got a little frog in my throat today, and it keeps saying ribbit. Okay, the last thing that I had on my report was I'm sorry. Of course, I changed the computer because I wanted to share some news with you. I'm looking for the meet with your principals once a month. Even if you don't have anything, any problems in your building, everything seems to be running smooth. Dr. Monique Davis sent out a request of all principals to meet with the FAC in the building at least once a month back at the beginning of the school year at a mutually agreed to time. So if your principal is refusing to meet with her, meet with you, please remind them that they have been asked to meet with the FAC. And the reason for that is so if you can't talk with somebody, how are you gonna work with them? So, the second piece to that is, if there is that much of a problem with your principal, if a parent is harassing you, if a student is harassing you, write it up and document it. There's a form called the 4170 that you can fill out if your principal is creating a hostile work environment. And I think right now we're all working in a hostile work environment, and I'm about this close of filing one on behalf of PGC and all of our members. Because we are working in a hostile work environment. Don't you think I don't know that as your president? Okay? However, there are legally some things that I have to be responsible for, and making sure that if I do such an action as that, I need to make sure that I'm in the right, and that I can legally do some things. And I am looking at legal action to protect us, because I've had too many people put out of school for trying to protect children. And then if they hadn't protected those children, they would have been neglectful of those children. So I just want to let you know that I'm thinking, I used to tell my kids in the classroom, don't mistake my silence for weakness. It's because I'm thinking about how I'm going to get you. Gray and our teacher leadership team have been working on a teacher-led school. We've also been working on community schools. And we're putting together something that's going to be amazing. And I want them to present it to you at our next rep council. We can do a presentation about it, because you need to know what's going on in our profession. And we've got to go from the bottom up instead of them pushing it down on us, because we're the ones every day fighting the battle. We know what the kids need. And they've been working on this plan for a long time. And I told them at the meeting last week, I said, I don't care what y'all do, to tell you the truth, but we're gonna do something. Do something. Let's make it happen. We're gonna be working with our community partners. We're gonna have a meeting at the end of this month with the community partners that were listed in the 1565, because we cannot allow Prince George's County Schools to be run by politicians who only have a lifespan of 4 to 8 years. We want to put together an organization that will outlive all of them. And I'll give you some more information on that. I want you to like us on Facebook, because I'm a Facebook girl, okay? Lock your Facebook down so that your kids can't see it, make it private. But like our Facebook, so that when I post something on Facebook or I tweet something and I say I need 500 teachers at Sasser tonight, or I need 50 teachers in front of the Maryland General Assembly Committee, and I'll give you leave to go, I need you to be there. Okay? Time for the drawing. You got something to say? No. Okay. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of cool things over here. I have I Love You candy containers. I have some wonderful books for Black History Month. And we have some posters that came from the 5th District, Steny Hoyer's District Black History Month breakfast. So here we go. The first name I pull is gonna get to give me a break day. I didn't forget that. Yes, ma'am. You didn't get a ticket?
I'm going. Give me a minute.
All right. If you didn't get a ticket, you better hold your hand up now. All right, y'all better not be faking either. We got cameras in here. And I want to thank all of you. Please take to make sure you get your Aetna bag and take your toothbrushes and your dental floss with you. I'm gonna give it to my neighbors. They have the tickets. They're coming back with them. Here, let me help you. Unspool the roll. Yes, board members with tickets. would like to make right now. The election results are in from MSEA already. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is I want to congratulate our own Donna Christie, who was elected to MSEA We're very proud of you, Donna. And there is actually a runoff for the NEA director position. So there's a gentleman, Brian Donahoe, I believe his name is, and myself, who are in a runoff for an NEA director position. And Rowena was in that race, but she came in third. So it was between Brian and myself, and they will announce when that's gonna happen. So, the rest of the results we will send out to everybody, but I'm sure they're gonna post them on MSCA if they already know that. Yes. You know, listen, let me just say something. If only, I got, the guy who got close to me got 1,600, got 20, I believe 28. I got 1,800 votes. How much is it down? Right. So, absolutely, you are absolutely right, Robin. The voter turnout was very low. We sent out reminder emails to people. So, we have to do a better strategy about this. Absolutely. Okay. You got about 15 prizes over there, so I want you to put some numbers forward. Just pull out 10 names. 10 numbers. 10. Dig at it. Dig at it. All right, let's see. You're real cute. What's the name? I forgot. Okay, 439264. 434. That's why I put my glasses on, see? 434264. Okay, now, you have a choice. You want a prize or give me a break day?
Give me a break. Give me a break. Take a break, babe. Take a break.
Make a decision. Down. No, you ain't doing that. That's like when you get somebody say, yeah, I want to. No, Okay. 4239. 4239. 4239. 434188. 434. I should read the last three. 188. 188. There we go. 258. Michelle, can you supervise the table? 258. 188. Don't be surprised from over the table. 258. 258. 259. Come on, 259. 259. 259. I gotta watch. Let me check his number because he's shady. 235. 235. 235. 235. 196. 274. 274. 274. 274. Yep, that matches up. And 234. 234. 234. All right. 274. What's your number? 234. 196 and 208. 256. 256. 252. 256. Come on down. 222. 222. Right here. 222. 256. 222. Oh, if you're a committee member and you do not, come here. No, go ahead. If you're a committee chair and you do not think your second half is a highly effective people calendar this evening, 247, 247, 247, 232, 232, 265, 265, yay! Bonjour, monsieur. Pick yourself a prize. 206, 206, I got winners. How am I doing on the table? I still got stuff on the table? Yes. Okay, 271. 271. What's your number?